Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to another Canuck Spyder video. So today's ride was a little bit hastily planned, but I got it all together and decided to go for a ride. As you can see, it's another spectacular day in early June, and I'm just riding along Kawartha Lakes Road number 48, which used to be Highway 48 at one point in time. And I'm just kind of going over, that's Mitchell Lake over there that you can see, or at least where the Trent Severn Waterway crosses through Mitchell Lake. You can see more of it on this side. The little channel markers there, if you can see them. This section of the Trent Severn Waterway is just before a little town called Kirkfield, and adjacent to Kirkfield there is a hydraulic lift lock, which interestingly enough is the high point in elevation of the Trent Severn Waterway. So from Lake Ontario up to this point, you are considered to be going upstream and going up in elevation, and from this point out to Georgian Bay you are going downstream or down in elevation the whole way. So you can see that at the various locks along the way. From Lake Ontario to this point, the boats are being elevated from a lower level to a higher level, and then from this point you're dropping down as you make your way up to Georgian Bay. So today's ride is going to take us up through the Aurelia area, and then we're going to head off up through Penetanguishene and the Midland area. We may even drop off at my old marina that we used to keep our boat at when we were boating. We'll see how the day goes, and some other points along the way. So I hope you enjoyed the video today, and as always, thank you very much for watching. So I've just arrived at Kirkfield at the lift lock, and I'm just showing you one of the original pumps that helped to pump water back and forth at this lock. And I'm going to walk out to the lock and try and give you an idea of how it all works. This is a lift lock. It is the one of two lift locks on the Trent Severn Waterway. There's an even larger one in Peterborough, Ontario. So we're going to head over to the lock and I'll show you how the whole thing works. So I'm now at the lift lock, and you'll see there is that big tub up there, and down there is the other tub, and right at the end, which is right along here, that's the door where the boats come in. So the boats will come into this area in here, and then what they do is they just move the water from one side to the other, and then that tub goes down and this tub goes up, and then the process repeats all over again. But it's pretty amazing to see these lift locks, as they were built like well over 100 years ago, and it is quite the operation. Up there is the control room for everything, where the operators work everything from. So they're just opening this gate. So that gate just disappears right underneath the water. Now that gate's disappeared underneath the water, this boat is going to come in and once they get in and tied up, they will be hoisted up to the next level. So now he's just closing that gate up down there. You can see it rising up. So we're just coming into Aurelia, and this bridge that we're about to go over and the surrounding area of it is called the Narrows. And on this side of the bridge, looking to the south, is Lake Simcoe, and on this side of the bridge, looking north, is Lake Couchiching. So that's Lake Simcoe down there, and that's Lake Couchiching up there. And this little body of water here is called the Narrows, and that's again another kind of a junction point of the Trent Severn Waterway as it makes its way up through all the various lakes and rivers up to Georgian Bay. So this little area that we're passing through right now is called Rugby, and this place has got a bit of history to it. The back during the Cold War between the US and Russia, or USSR, this area of Ontario was a major NORAD facility back in the 50s, 60s, maybe even as far into the 70s. I'm not really sure how far back it goes, but it was quite the installation back in its time, but that is long gone now, and it's just a sleepy little town just on the other side of Aurelia. This area, we're sort of coming along on this road. It's called the Old Barrie Road, and it's going to head us over to Highway 93, which will take up into the Midland Penetanguishene area eventually. But it's there's a lot of ski resorts just to this side of the road to me, and so it's quite hilly and quite pretty. So I suppose that no visit to this area would be complete without trying to get some shots of the Martyrs Shrine. So this is the Martyrs Shrine ahead of me here. I'm going to leave a link below to the history about this place. It's a pretty spectacular place for sure. So we just pulled onto White Falls Road, and this is going to take us very shortly over to Big Chute Marine Railway, which is another quote-unquote lock station on the Trent Severn Waterway. It's the second last lock station you have to pass through before you get into Georgian Bay. It is, however, a bit different, and I'll show you why that's different when we get there. So the question is, why are these railway tracks going into the water? Well, the answer is right around here. And they are going to go up on that cart right there, which takes all the boats from the side I just showed you down the tracks to the other side. So we'll wander down there and I'll show you how this works. So the boats get loaded on that big cart. Done this quite a number of times. And then, once they're all loaded on and secured on the water on the other side, they start on this track. And you can probably see off in the distance, it's a drop for sure. So those big yellow things are actually straps that move in, and they actually cradle the boats and hold them in position while they're in the cart. So once they're all loaded up, they come down this railway. And you'll notice that there's actually two sets of tracks. One is lower than the other one, and that is all calculated out to keep the boats level the whole way down until they get deposited back in the water at the bottom. So this is the original cart of the Marine Railway, and I am going to try and find, I have got some old pictures of this when it was still in operation, when my dad used to bring us over here in our old boat. So I'll try and post a few pictures of this thing in operation. But they still seem to have it here, and I'm sure it can be used in a pinch. But you could only get a couple of boats on this thing when it was in operation. And the other cart, as you've seen, is quite a lot bigger. Big Chute Marine Railway was my last stop of the day on this ride. So I just thought I'd get the drone out one more time. There were some rapids adjacent to the area that I thought I would get some shots of. So I suppose this brings another Canucks Spyder video to a close. And as always, thank you very much for watching.